Well, Roger, you're a very hard act to follow, I must say. Love your energy and the message is wonderful. And I'm just hoping that my teleprompter doesn't fail me tonight. So on with this. Thank you, everybody, and good evening. 2.5 years ago, during orientation, many of us graduating here tonight were brought into Benson Great Hall, this beautiful room, and encouraged to picture what graduation would look like. The image of walking across this very stage was imprinted on our memory and has served as motivation for many of us. Tonight, I invite you to envision something different and very simple. 3 concentric circles. Each of us graduates comprises the center circle. The second represents our personal support systems. And the third and outermost circle represents everyone else with whom we interact or will. So let's reflect for a minute on that first circle. We've worked hard in school and life for the past several years and are justifiably proud of having earned a degree. Each of us has a story of a sacrifice made. Countless hours away from family to study and write papers, or quietly completing blackboard postings while at work, or sacrificing financially to pay tuition and books. All those things I think are true. During our time together, babies were born, jobs were lost, promotions were earned, and countless gallons of coffee were consumed. In my cohort alone, all those things occurred, plus a few others. One individual was talked out of leaving the program by fellow cohort mates in an extraordinary show of fellowship. One person read thousands of textbook pages while on the city bus to and from work every day, and she was just referenced a moment ago in the prior speech. And one person even endured the world's longest conference call, during which the batteries in not 1, not 2, but 3 cordless phones died. That was a long conference call. So why did we do all this? Well, some of you may be familiar with the Old Testament story in 2 Samuel about a guy named Benaiah. His unusual name means God has built. I think Benaiah's experience relates somewhat to our own. In short, he chases a lion down into a pit. The ground is covered with snow, it is slippery, and there's no way out. Benaiah kills the lion. We don't know from the story why he jumped in the pit, how he killed the lion, or what he was possibly thinking. What matters is that he was unafraid. He made a commitment, he rose to the occasion, he slew the lion, and gained great confidence. I think our experience at Bethel is similar, minus the real lion, of course. We each had our own reasons for pursuing school. Maybe we needed the challenge. Maybe we sought higher pay at work. Maybe we simply wanted the cool little tassel that we're going to get tonight to hang in our rearview mirrors. But I think there's a different reason, which we'll get to in a minute. So like the biblical story of Benaiah, what matters is that we, all of us, were unafraid of the challenges of higher education. We committed to it, we rose to the occasion, and we've gained great confidence. So now let's focus briefly on that second circle, our support system. When we arrived at Bethel, we were encouraged to have a support system away from school. These are the very people whom Roger has encouraged us to thank. We were told also to rely upon our fellow cohort mates, those who would be facing the very same challenges and struggles, those with whom we would develop a very strong common bond. I sincerely encourage you to look your family, friends, and instructors in the eye and say thank you, for without them this night might have been possible. They made sacrifices of time and resources to make our education possible. I'm reminded of a pastor who defined love in a way that underscores the meaning of sacrifice. He said, quote, "Love is doing what is best for another person, no matter what it costs you." So to my family, right there, Mary, Grant, Adam, and Luke, thank you for your sacrifices that made today possible for me. So finally, let's reflect on that third concentric circle that represents all others in our lives. Now, I have what may be an unconventional view, that we're here tonight in large part to celebrate for all the other people in our lives. I don't believe that we're here solely to celebrate the end of our education. I believe that instead we're here to begin putting to work what Bethel has taught us and what God wants from us, to lead or come alongside of or to support other people in our lives and those we have yet to meet. A favorite Bible verse speaks to this, 2 Corinthians. Quote, "He died for everyone so that those who receive his new life will no longer live for themselves." So I believe we're here to celebrate how we will live for, inspire, and influence others in the years ahead. We don't exactly know what impact we'll have on others in the remainder of our lives. Only God knows that. It might be something large, say merging together organizations to better serve society, or improving the lives of thousands of kids through education, or even saving a life. Or it might be something seemingly small, perhaps simply listening to a colleague in time of need. But those things are all important in God's eyes, whether large or small, and our actions will result from what we learn at Bethel. Remember that God has built each of us to slay the lion and to go out into the world just like Benaiah did. Being a sports fan, I would like to use a quote from the movie Miracle, which was about the 1980 U.S. Olympic hockey team. Herb Brooks, the team coach, gave what I believe is one of the most profound speeches of all time before the team played the mighty Soviets. I'd like to conclude my remarks by quoting Herbie. Now, in listening to his words, I invite you to think of what we're doing here tonight, to remember that God has built each of us, and to think of how this relates to what God now wants you to go out and do in the world. Here is what Herbie Brooks said to the team with one minor modification. Quote, "You were born to be leaders, every one of you. And you were meant to be here tonight. This is your time." End quote. Thank you and Merry Christmas.
Our speaker tonight is Robert H. Sampson. Mr. Sampson, he was also involved with the iteration.
Malcolm Andrew Ryerse.
Yeah, Dad!
Caroline Melissa Smith.